particular part of the research I'm going to present is part of the wider co-decision agenda that Adrian just introduced, which really in a nutshell asks why, how, and with what consequences EU legislative politics has become increasingly informalized and increasingly secluded since 1999. Now, the paper, or the paper on which the talk is based, really addresses the why question. It tries to explain secluded decision-making in the European Union, and it's a cooperative paper between Adrienne and myself, and Christel Kopp, who is in the audience, and EUDO Bressanelli, also from the European University Institute. Okay, I need to conclude, I think. So two conclusions. One really regarding the results. So in a nutshell, what we found was that the decision to go informal is systematically related, or seems to be systematically related to EU enlargement, to legislative workload, to the complexity of the file, and to the time co-decision has been used. But as I said before, because we had some equifinal expectations, we really need qualitative process tracing to uncover the causal mechanisms that are predominantly responsible for the confirmation. And now finally, 3 points which I think probably are most interesting for EUDO as such, considering that we're talking about European democracy. We think there are a lot of challenges in this development. We are not the only ones to think that there are challenges in that. I had a couple of very interesting documents about what party group chairs and committee chairs in the European Parliament are thinking about that development. So it's a hot topic in the European Parliament. We think there are challenges to public deliberation, to transparency and inclusiveness, and to intra-institutional decision-making. Unlike what we expected, even salient and redistributed files are agreed informally. We expected they wouldn't be agreed informally because these files are likely to increase public interest and political opposition. Now, it could be that it's the other way around, that it's because these files raise a lot of opposition that they're being decided in the informal arena. And I think that obviously has very strong repercussions on democratic decision-making. Now the second question, transparency and inclusiveness, of course, the question which actors can actually follow this process, which is really secluded, who can follow trilogues, who can influence trilogues. That has repercussions for the wider public, but also, we think, for civil society and lobbying in Brussels. And the last one, challenges to intra-institutional decision-making. Some actors within the institutions benefit from this development, some actors lose through that development. And one of the questions we would like to explore further, which we have started to explore further, is how the European Parliament and the Council react internally to actors' institutional or differential empowerment through the use of trilogues and early agreements.